How's it going, YouTube? As you can see, we're in the bed of the F150 today. It's very bright out. Today's gonna be a little different. Well, it's really not gonna be a different video. It's gonna be about the same shit that I do every time I do a video. I didn't film it my Badlands ZXR, I do believe, winch. I went and I bought the synthetic cable for it, a new fair lead, and a new hook and all that junk. My dog's totally gonna get up here and be in the video. So, went antelope hunting this morning, so he's probably gonna lick up what's left in the bed from all that. Oh, let's see here. So, changed all that synthetic cable. I went and got, actually just a little bit ago, I went and got the wireless controller. So that's all gonna get mounted in the truck. This right here is a rough country winch plate. It is supposed to fit in the factory holes in the front bumper. In the front bumper, you'll see it when I get up there. I do currently have a receiver up there. I'm going to ditch the receiver from the front because it's super low hanging. And I'm going to go back to the skid plate that originally went on the bumper. And then this is going to be tucked up in there. So yeah, he's totally licking antelope blood. So that's going to be the main process of the video. Hopefully, I'm hoping that everything works out good. It looks like it should. My goal is for the fair lead to kind of kick out of the bumper a little bit, and if it doesn't, I'll just build a fair lead that goes in there, or I'll cut the one off of the receiver plate. I really don't want to cut it off there, but we'll get a fair lead put in there regardless, even if we're running without a light bar or with a big ass hole in the bumper for a day. Now, as for the light bar, it is going to go on top of the bumper. I'm hoping that it's going to kick it out a little bit more so the beam projects a little bit better. It does kick ass right now because it's a rough country bar, but see if we can capitalize on the amount of money that I spent on that thing. So first things first, we're going to drop the receiver out, and then I'm pulling beard hair and antelope hair out of my face. Have been all day. Going to set this thing up in place and just see how well everything fits. And then I'm hoping that everything works out perfectly where there's a little bit of space on either side, because I want to do some strobe pods in there, and that'll be a whole nother adventure for this truck. Sorry I look like a meth head while I'm filming this. And then also over here I have some 1/8 inch and some 1/4 inch steel. I don't know how well you can see it, but Dad buried his Super Duty. I pulled them out just with a shackle off the rear bumper, because I don't have my other receiver shackle yet, which we'll get into. And it bent the holy living shit out of the bumper. So I'm not going to name what kind of bumper it is, because they really don't care that it bent the bumper. So I contacted them, kind of told them what went on, and they didn't say anything. So, instead of being upset about it, just kind of going to go forward and see what I can do to prevent it. And I have considered putting a winch in the rear bumper of this just as kind of a little content feel, plus then maybe when I'm loading cars in my trailer, I can just throw a winch cable out, wheel it in. Let me see. I got my welder in here, my bottle. That's why my bed looks so cluttered. I've been doing really good at keeping it clean. But this is the box that I'm excited about, that you guys have heard me talk about since they became part of the channel, and they've been part of the channel way longer than I want to admit, because I'm just now getting my hands on one of these. This is where my other receiver comes into play, because I have it's not a no name, but I'm not going to mention the name, because the deal with them basically was I contacted them, told them how much I actually, because I really do like their recovery equipment. I've rescued I don't know how many vehicles with, it's not the rope that I have. It's a 4-inch by 30-foot rope. I broke one on my tractor trying to pull a disc. It's kind of as you would expect, because it's way more weight than it should be pulling. But it actually did surprisingly well, and I contacted the company. Told them, like, hey, I'm really interested in your products. You know, I want to do something to promote you, but from a promoter standpoint, like, there should be a little bit of give and take in that. So whether it's they give me, I don't like to ask for shit, but like maybe it's a discount for myself, maybe it's a discount for my followers. I know there's only 85 of you. I'm really working at that 100. It sounds pitiful, but I'm just a dipshit doing what I think's neat, putting it on the internet. So, 100 sounds cool to me. So yeah, they wouldn't do anything to work with me, wouldn't do anything to help me out, blew me off, ignored my messages, left me on red, and it was pissing me off because they're not a super huge company, but it's a company I was super interested in. So then I decided to try my luck with, I think, the best company out there for off-road recovery, things like that. And they got back with me, and not only did they get back with me, they did a lot of work to their affiliate program to show people like me, little channels that just want to be part of, I guess, the bigger picture in the off-road world, off-road recovery world. He revamped it all so that a smaller person like me could be an affiliate of the company. And that company is Yankum Ropes. Now this is, like I said, my first one, and it goes with me in my color scheme, because I'm sure you guys have seen my toolbox and everything. Green's my favorite color, so the fact that they're doing this now just makes it 10 times better. This is a 1-inch 30-foot rope. I am sure that you're going to see a lot of use out of it because all my buddies that live around here, I am the go-to. Same as New York. So, green 30-footer, super excited to try this thing out. Super excited for Yankee to be part of this build. And then I also ordered 2 high-vis shackles, and I like the light colors because you can't lose them. So, super excited about this. And then I also have the receiver that won't be here till like Monday. It was back ordered, still shipped super quick. I cannot thank Yankum enough for the way that they're willing to work with me, the fast shipping. It's pretty expensive when you look at it, but just looking at the product that you get, I mean, shit, it was even shipped nice. So, little things like that I really think go a long way. Everything's quality, you can tell. It's not like that cheap stuff you get where there's like little frays and stuff throughout it, and you just know it's not going to be good. And they're not asking me to talk about it like this. This is just me being truthful. I really like the rubber dipped ends. I really like that they came out with a color choice because I like red, but I do not like red near as much as I like green. So, yeah, I just wanted to give a shout to them for everything that they do and how much they work with me. Super responsive on emails. I lost my my creator code, whatever you call it, my link to the page that I can watch how my followers react to it and everything. And I think it like took a couple hours, and I had a new link. I don't know, they're just super responsive. You can tell that they actually care about their customer service, care about their products. So for right now, I just got a couple soft shackles and my rope. I wanted high vis because then when I leave them on vehicles, I can tell that I left them on a vehicle. But it's my little rant about how awesome Yankum is. I'm not going to get rid of my other recovery gear. When you guys see me in the future doing these kinds of videos, you're probably going to see it. I'm just not going to talk about it. So they have not proven to me that it's even worth talking about. They still have a great product, but it's not worth it to me to kind of to push it at all. Where Yankum, obviously, they already have a great name, and they also are willing to work with the littler people. So it's not just a market for them. They actually believe in their product enough to promote it to people like me. So, and I did pay full price for this. I mean, almost full price. It's not like they just sent it to me and said, hey, say something nice about this. So that's probably something you'll never see, is me just talking about a product because somebody gave it to me. I will absolutely send shit back if somebody's going to be a dick about it. So that's my Yankum. Super excited to have it. Now I'm just waiting for that phone call so I can go use it, then tell you guys what I really think about it. But first impression, it's crazy impressive. So that being said, kind of done with my rant. I will not film me dropping the receiver out of the front because it's like 4 bowls. But when I get to that point, I will turn it back on and we will look how well this thing fits, get the lead bar out of the way, and then we'll Hopefully this will go quick, because I know the rear bumper's not going to. It's going to be reinforcing the receiver that it bolts to. It's going to be reinforcing the actual mounting brackets. I'm hoping that I have enough steel here. I probably don't, but it'll be a hell of a lot better than it was. So it's pretty unacceptable that you buy a, you know, an $800-900 bumper and it bends like that. So I get I was pulling probably a 10,000 pound truck, but you got people that are going to use this shit. You should probably make it so it's useful. But that being said, I'm going to turn this thing off, and hopefully you guys like the angles better, because I went out and bought it on a tripod this morning. Just for you, just so you can see my ugly ass. So get this receiver dropped out, and I will be right back. Bye. Okay. Well, as I hoped, it's actually like, don't look at the light bar yet. I'm not convinced. It is like so perfect you can't even see it. It's like I could not have asked for better fitment of that fair lead mount. I was so worried it was going to contact the bumper. Had to pull the D-ring mounts off. They are rough country shackle mounts. They just bolt in where the OEM tow hooks are. I know they make them for all kinds of vehicles. Okay. I am going to get this thing finished bolted in, and then I will bring you back when we're setting the winch in. So, super, super happy that this is all working. This fair lead bracket here is probably what we're going to use, just not the whole thing. So we'll probably drill a couple holes. Bolt her in place, bolt that fair lead on, and then I'll have enough room to mount whatever I want on the side. I even thought about ditching the 30-inch and doing a couple little ones in here, but I don't know, dude, this light bar's awesome. So it looks goofy, but we'll get her to do something. So I'm going to give a little update on it, get this bastard bolted in place, and I'll be back shortly. And bam, just like that, there's a winch in my bumper. Gotta unbolt this Badlands box. It'll bolt in right here. That's gonna be a pain in my ass. See, I said I was gonna film this, but Jesus, was that a pain in the ass to get that thing squeezed in there. It's all bolted in place. The more I think about it, the more I'm considering just cutting the extra shit off of that and putting the bead on here, because it's just got to hold it fairly. It's not like it's going to be pulling or anything. I mean, I want it to be a little stout, because I guess that's not true. It will be pulling, but it won't be pulling like as hard as the winch does. So I don't know for sure how that's going to work, but one way or the other we'll get a fair lead squeezed in here. The top is hollow, so that might actually make this easier. I did not know that. Cool. As you can see, I'm making this shit up as I go. So yeah, there it is. Once I get the rest of this shit tidied up and get my wires ran and everything, I will jump back in here, but so far it looks goofier than shit with that big hole. Hopefully the rest of the stuff we're doing to it'll fix all that junk. But we are one step closer to having a winch in this bumper, and then we'll figure out where the light bar is going to go. So slow progress, but progress is progress. Got everything mounted back in place, got everything bolted on. It's ready to go. The winch is mounted, so now we just got to make everything work. And it's whooping my ass. So F150 Badlands winch.
I hate it.
Okay, so this is what we've got so far. I don't know if you can see me because I'm on the other side of the camera. This is the rough country fair lead. Well, fair lead bracket that goes in the stock bumper. This is centered, and right now I do not think it looks like it, but it is. Whatever. Sorry, my dog's eating a stick. This is my Badlands fair lead. A bolt right there. It's gonna tie it up really nice. Just give me 2 gigantic holes. Sorry. I'm gonna weld this on here. It is currently bolted to the winch plate, so it's all straight and shit. Just use my bandsaw, cut off all the other shit because I only need this, and then this gives me, let's find out, right at a 10-inch hole that we can put whatever in. This bumper came with deals to fill all these holes, and if I remember right, it's like 1 for here, 1 for here, 1 for here. So if I do this right, I think I'm gonna put temporary pods in here just to fill the gaps. I'll put the grates in the sides, and then I'll put a pod on each side here, just because apparently in my mind you can't have enough lights. And then, oh my lord, if I open this feller up, this is my Badlands winch deal, the remote control deal, after I covered that in black powdered shit. Jax, what are you eating, dude? Oh, he's eating a horn. I have a dash mat, put a piece of Velcro on this, stick it to the dash mat, then I won't ever lose this, and then I also have the actual hard line for it in my winch box, and my winch box is just a box with shackles and shit in it. Since the actual control box sits over here, and I have this that's just hanging out like cat nuts, these are what that box used to mount on, and they went on top of the on top of the winch, but because the winch is now so low profile, I am just going to bolt this to these off to one side, because this doesn't hit any of the rope or anything, so it'll just be a holder for my sumbitch. That's where we're at with this damned thing. I'm gonna unhook some batteries, hook up my welder, and tack this thing in place and get a better view of it. Burn it in, paint it black. I might even run the winch cable, I'm not sure yet. But then whenever I get all that shit done, I'm gonna chime back in, we'll look at it, see what it looks like, and then we're gonna figure out the light bar situation, because I don't want to run this truck without my light bar. The cool thing about spending a shit ton of money is leaving the money in the pickup. So yeah, that's where we're at with this thing. Thanks for coming. I'll be back shortly. The F150 will have a winch and shit, so. And hopefully it doesn't look as crude as it does right now, because it's pretty rough looking from a distance, but it's part of bullshit fabrication, I do believe. So, BRB home slices, this is. So this is what we're left with here. Got the fair lead all in. I should probably tighten the bolts and put the cotter pin in the hook. But this is a modular bumper, and I forgot about that. So I had light bar mounts and shit. So I didn't have to do nothing. I just went down and dug through my shit until I found them. These are the grates I was talking about. There is another one that goes through here. As you can see, I put a winch in it, so I don't really need to use that one. Looking at aux beam pods that will go right here, and they're strictly going to be strobe lights. For whatever stupid reason, I think I need strobe lights. The skid plate all bolted in good, light bar mounted good. It's all behind the fair lead, and it's actually behind the bumper a little bit, so I'm glad it's not taken out too far. Now the only other thing I'm thinking about doing is, they sell a bull bar for this, but thinking about building one that kind of kicks out like this, angles back to the bumper and all that junk. So I don't know if we're gonna get there. This will be it for this video because it's super long. But yeah, got a winch in the bumper, everything tied up pretty nice. I'm not gonna hardwire it. I'm just gonna leave it on my quick disconnect because the amount that I use a winch is slim enough that if I need it, I can go get my wiring harness, plug it in, use it, unplug it, carry on with my day. I think that's pretty much it. Everything's wired, everything looks good, everything's clean except for the big ass holes that we'll have to fill later. But I'm pretty satisfied with it. I was worried how it was going to turn out. Make sure that you go over to Yankum Ropes, use my discount code, it'll be in the description down below. Get you a rope, help me out. Go to Patreon at Legendary Fab, it'll be down there too. Like I said in the last video, I don't post anything on there, it's just for if you like me. So I can keep doing dumb shit like this and put it on the internet. So, that being said, thanks. I have a winch in my